Hello everybody and welcome to Midnight Channel. So if you haven't watched my review of Kingdom Hearts 3, there's a link right there. This is the spoiler section slide, just kind of discussion video of the ending and pretty much everything in the story and everything. I will also be making a separate video for each single individual world, where I'll discuss every single world and kind of how I felt about the world itself, about the things, the plot within the world and everything. But this is just kind of like the Kingdom Hearts main plot storyline and the ending, especially the ending. I don't have many friends that have finished Kingdom Hearts yet, so I just kind of like want to talk about it, but I don't have like people to talk about it with and everything. With that being said, if you haven't finished the game, what are you doing in this video? Go finish the game and everything, and once the game is finished and everything, come back and join in with me and everything. Also, feel to comment on the section, so please be aware, spoilers are around. Definitely don't watch this video until you finish the game. Alright, so let's just get started with it. And holy crap, a lot happened in this game. I am super good, happy, excited, at the same time a little bit confused and disappointed, but let's just get started with it and everything. So I like that they tied up a lot of the main storylines, because it definitely was needed. They tied up the story with Kingdom Hearts 2, Birds by Sleep, which was a much needed one. Seeing just Ventus, Terra, and Aqua just come back together and just gonna just getting each other and everything, because I feel really bad for them. The story was definitely sad, and they suffered and went through a lot. So I am very happy that their storyline just finally finished and everything. Definitely much needed. We got Namine back, and we got Roxas back, and Xion and Axel back. So they have their own storyline finished. And it was definitely satisfying as well to see that storyline finished as well. Very happy that they finally just tied up everything together neatly. At the same time, I wish they had maybe explained a little bit more about a lot of, some questions I wish to have regarding Roxas and Namine, especially Xion, for example. I wish they had explained a little bit more. But I felt that they did a pretty good job about just kind of tying up the story together. This is all about tying up the stories, even if there is less explanations for a lot of this stuff and everything. They did explain a couple of things, but I felt like they could have done a little bit better, just kind of bringing a little bit more to it and everything. Because they bothered explaining some stuff, but not everything. And I kind of just feel like they should have done that, but it's fine if they don't. And for the majority of the game, I was super happy about a lot of the stuff we got. For example, that interaction with Kairi and Sora, the main protagonist here. And I just felt like that it was, for the most part, so warm and everything. And I'm a little bit upset about the ending, because I wanted them to just be together and be happy. I feel like they've gone through so much suffering and so much everything that I feel like I'm a little bit upset that they did this the way they did it. Basically, at the end, when Kairi, I guess, died or lost her heart or whatever, and Sora just kind of going to find her and everything, and he used the power of awakening, which made him disappear or die, one or the two. And I guess this is just kind of like what's going to happen next and everything. So I didn't like that. Like, I liked it, but at the same time I was kind of like, okay, they have to tell you that there is a cost for all of the actions that you do. There's the action, there's a reaction and everything, so that makes sense. And that's the first time I was kind of like, okay, that's fine and everything. But I don't know if I wanted this. Like, you can continue the plot threads and the storylines and everything without having this kind of stuff, because we've already seen Sora go through this before. Not necessarily the same, but similar. After in between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, there's this stuff where he loses his memories and everything, and I don't feel like we needed this anymore than the first time and the second time. Like, this is kind of like tired and done with. Like, let them be together, let them be happy. You can start a new story, because if you go through the ending where you have all the masters just kind of going in together, and there's the black box, which we don't know it's in there and everything, and there's a new plan and there's new stuff going on. That could have been the ending. there was no reason for Sora to be missing. There's no reason for this extra stuff. Let them be happy for a little bit of time. Let them just kind of, you have this really nice scene at the end where they're in Destiny Islands and everybody's just like having so much fun. And at the end, you see Kairi sitting down with Sora, and then Sora disappears. And I'm like, no, don't do this to me. I've been waiting for 13 years for this. I just want them to be happy. And I was super happy at first because at first they had this really nice interaction with Sora and Kairi, where they're kind of hugging each other and like, well, not hugging each other, holding their hands, and Kairi gives him the pepper fruit, and then Sora gives them one back to her and everything. And I was like, yes, this is what I want. This is the ending that I want. And when this happens, I'm like, no, don't do this. This is wrong. And over time, I finished the game a couple days ago, so I had enough time to kind of think about it and everything. And I was like, okay, I can accept it now, but I'm still a little bit upset about it. I didn't need this, and I didn't want this the way that it happened. But it's okay, because the story is gonna continue and everything. But at the same time, I'm like, don't do this. So as you can tell, I'm conflicted about it. And if you're not conflicted about it, let me know about it and everything, because I obviously want to know about it. Let me just take a sip here. But overall, I just don't know what to say about this. It's really good, and I was really happy about it. But I was conflicted. I also, in my non-spoiler review, I was talking about the pacing, about the game and everything, and I felt like there was a bad pacing about it. So at the beginning, you had the main storyline, right? Oh, we need to gather the severed guardians, and we need to do, and you need to get the power of waking and all this stuff, right? So you're going through the worlds, everything, and the pace starts slowing down. You get couple cutscenes here and there between each world, but it's not enough to keep the story going. Like, you want to get to the story because you've been waiting for 13 years. I want the action. I want the stuff that's going on. What's going on with the 13 lights? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? And they built some storyline with the new 7 lights of the princesses or whatever. And it goes nowhere at all. They just started the storyline and they didn't do anything with it, so that's dumb. And then they did the other stuff with the box, which obviously we get a payoff about the box, and then you get this other storyline about kind of finding new vessels for the hearts or whatever. And they go to Toy Story because the toys are animated because they have a heart, and then you go to Big Hero 6 and the same story, they have a heart and everything. So it's weird the way that they did it. 3 different plot lines, just kind of going over the plot line of the vessels. I guess it's supposed to be for the for the other Xehanort. I'm pronouncing his name wrong. His other hearts that need to be implanted on somewhere else or whatever for to be the 13 vessels or whatever. But it's just weird because. At the end, they don't even utilize any of that. So that all that wasting of time, really, while it's really fun because I really enjoyed all of these worlds and everything, at the same time I felt like, why are you starting a story thread that you're not gonna tie any end to it? It carries no weight to it. You might disagree with me. You might think, well, this carries more of the what they're trying to do to get the stuff and everything, but at the same time, it doesn't tie into anything. That story thread doesn't do anything to it. The only story that really carries over is the box. That's what really, does anything. Of course, Sora needs to get his strength back, and he needs to get stronger and everything. So that makes sense, but I feel maybe adding a little bit more depth into the worlds that will add into the main story will be much appreciated. This isn't an issue just of this game. A lot of the other games also have the same issue, where the storyline just kind of doesn't, and the worlds doesn't tie into the main story, except for the first one. The first one really had a big thing about it and everything, but the other games just kind of like, okay, we need to go to Disney worlds and everything, but they don't really add a lot of depth to it, and I feel like that's kind of lacking and missing there. And overall, this makes the main plot suffer as far as the way that the pacing works and everything. Hope you can follow me with this, what I'm saying and everything. If you don't, definitely talk to me about it because I want to know. Now let's talk about the secret ending, because when you go to Toy Story, you see this really cool trailer here for Yozora, which is kind of like the Final Fantasy 13 versus. It's not kind of. It is Final Fantasy 13 versus. It's the same thing. Like it's super similar to it and everything, and. At the end, you have this scene, or this secret scene. If you haven't seen it, you should look it up because it's pretty cool. Basically, in this scene, you see Sora and Riku walking around this area, which is Shinjuku in Japan, but it doesn't look like it. Looks a lot like it, but it's really not. And then you can see the reveal that is actually this game here, which is, I forgot the name of the game actually, but it's the game that you see on the world for Toy Story. So it's on for this year. You can see it right there and everything. Really interesting stuff. I'm really curious what's gonna happen to this. Is this a teaser for Kingdom Hearts 4 or anything like that, or maybe it's just kind of like a thing spoof really of like Final Fantasy or whatever. But yeah, interesting stuff here. We'll see how it happens and what happens with this, because it's really interesting. Overall, I was super satisfied with most of the stuff that they did, and I gave the game a 9 out of 10. I thought it was fair. If you're a super fan, you might give it a 10 out of 10. And it's kind of a little bit weird because a big part of me, the fanboy in me, just want to be like, this is the best game ever. This was super good and everything. But at the same time, you gotta back up and look and kind of say, well, this was good, but it had definitely some issues. It definitely has some pacing stuff. It definitely has some stuff that I wanted them to do better and everything. And while this game was really, really good, I can tell that there's some stuff that they didn't do as good as they could have. But yeah, let me know if you agree with this or not. You can definitely free 100% to disagree with what I'm talking about here. But thanks so much for watching this video again. And if you're new and watching this video for the first time, consider subscribing. I am new on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching this again, and I'll see you next time.